Hello, I'm PS3 and welcome back to the video. So there are so many maps available for the minigame battle now that it's kind of hard to work out which one you should vote for when you're in a lobby and you see 14 choices to pick, or even which ones you should buy if you want to buy one map pack and get the best value from it. So I think I'd make today's video to go through my personal favourite battle maps, because I wanted to go through the best, but obviously there's personal preference. So here are my top 5 favourite maps in Minecraft's battle mode. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. If you do like the video, like and let me know because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do like this sort of video. But with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start with my 5th favourite map, which is the first one you're going to be seeing on screen right now, which is Cove. So Cove is a map that is available for free, and it's a pretty interesting map because, again, it's like themed around this Cove thing, and I think the theme of this map is one of the coolest ones because, again, it means there are actually arrow dispensers around the map that you'll never actually kill someone with, but it's nice to pretend, you know, it's a source of arrows. But yeah, in general, just I really love the, you know, the chest placement on this map. It seems like one of the ones that has most of the love poured into it because, you know, there's a ship on one end, there's like a skull cannon on the other. It's just a really interesting looking map, and it's also one of my favorite maps because it's so different to all of the rest. You know, unlike pretty much every other map, which is themed like a square or like a circle, this map is a really long rectangle with, again, 2 distinct sides, and I don't know why it, you know, is so distinct from all the rest of them, but it does just feel like a different experience. The downsides to it, the reason it's not my favorite map in the world is because, obviously, it's a little bit tricky to get to the sides sometimes. You know, like, it feels like the whole map is forced around the center, but, you know, that's a really interesting experience sometimes. It's just not what you're necessarily always going for. So, in the background gameplay, you're going to see me kind of go around the outside and just explore the whole map and see how interesting and, you know, great it is, because, again, like, look at that skull with the, you know, water pouring out there. I really love the builder sort of thing on that, and just in general, this is a fun map. Out of the, you know, free maps, it's probably my favorite, but overall, it's my 5th favorite map in battle. So let's move on to my 4th favorite one, and that's actually going to be one of the first maps I ever played for battle because it was at the Microsoft event pre-launch. Basically, it is Lair. So Lair is also was the map that was the very first gameplay battle ever came out on because I was able to reveal it to the world, like, you know, like 6 months ago now. And yeah, Lair has a special place in my heart because of that, but it's also just a really interesting map for a whole range of other reasons. Because if we look around here, then you know, you could, well, I'll forget this, you know, first engagement done with my diamond sword. If you look around, then you're going to see there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff, including my personal favorite, like anything on any map, is this really dangerous chest in the lava here, where if you press the switch, or I'm about to do it, if you press the switch, then you activate a pathway to get to a rare chest. So you get amazing stuff in that chest, but because you have to go over lava, which anyone can turn off at any moment, or even if they just spot you, they can knock you back in. It's so dangerous to go here, and yeah, I love the idea of like risk for reward for getting the rare stuff. Do you want to get normal chests, or do you want to go for the big stuff? And honestly, whenever I play online or play, you know, against subscribers, there's always this big fight where like 3 people go there, and it's you know, interesting. I love the idea of a PowerPoint on a map, and this has that going down really well. The second thing I love about this map is the fact that it's a really nice circle where from pretty much any point on the map you can see the center. So the center is like the gladiator point where everyone goes to like fight to the death, and everything around it is like, you know, just searching chests. I kind of like the, you know, the circular theme going around the center because it's also really nice on the circles. Like you know, if you look to my right, in a second, you can see there's a giant like a dinosaur skeleton around there that just looks amazing from this side. From the other side, you see this like castle looking thing. It's a really great looking map, and because the entire thing's built underground, to me at least, it's just a really great example of a build because you know, it's like a circular cave that doesn't feel unnatural. It feels like it's great, but yet it has you know, again, the very circular theme to it, which I think is you know, something that's kind of hard to pull off normally. So yeah, as you can see, there's a dragon egg up there. They've got the lighting sorted. There's a lot of stuff I love to do with the building on this map, and the only thing I don't really like is the fact that, you know, it's somewhat boring to some extent when it comes to the actual, you know, layout of the outside, because, you know, it's like a single pathway in one bit, which makes sense, but then on the other bit, it's just like, oh, there's a giant skeleton, or you go under the skeleton, and that's about it as far as your choices go. So you're kind of like just racing around in a circle. I don't know, it both seems like relatively easy to find someone, but also really annoying at the same time. Like, you know, people find you, but it's kind of hard to find them. I know there's something about it that hasn't and never gelled with me, that never makes it the perfect map, but it is definitely one of my favorites, as you're going to see with this win right here. So with that said, let's move on from this map to the next one, which is from DLC Map Pack 2. So just to clarify, that last one was from the first map pack, and yeah, the second one is Castle. It's a map that at first I wasn't really too intrigued by, like, oh, it's a castle, how interesting. But as you know, I played the map more and more, I really just like it a lot. Like, it's the sort of map that's really grown on me to be my 3rd favorite map in battle. So why is that? So the first thing I love about this map, it was the first one to have like TNT launchers on, and it does it quite interestingly because you can get from this side where I was just before over to the other side with a cannon like that. But the other cannon is way more interesting because it's on the throne room. So yeah, each side of the map is very distinct. Like, there's a red room, which is, you know, you'll see in a second just how different this room is to the other rooms. There's a green side where it's very wide open, and yeah, this side of the map, the red one, the throne room, you can actually launch the throne using a button that's kind of hidden over there, and you can use this to get to a rare chest, but it involves a lot of risk. And yeah, again, I love the idea of like there's a risk reward factor for getting the chest, not just like whoever gets there first, because you've got to use the throne to get up there, which is kind of dangerous, and then you've got to grab the chest from mid-air, just like I'm about to do here. It's you know, it's a tricky thing to pull off each time, and it means that, you know, even though I have a diamond pickaxe, if someone tried to kill me just then, they'd probably be able to do it because a diamond pickaxe isn't going to help about, against the fact that I have half a health bar. Really interesting, kind of trade-off to make there. So, yeah, I love it for the fact that it is like that, but I also love that it's filled with little secrets and themes. So, for instance, you can hop through a bunch of paintings. You see that little secret thing right there? Isn't that cool? Like, you can sneak through corners of the map like that. There's also a thing where you can, like, sneak from upstairs to downstairs using, like, the painting in an early room. There's just so many little cool secrets about this map that I really do quite like, and I think that's pretty great because it doesn't just encourage you to go to one part of the map and then kind of chill there and then maybe go back to the center. Instead, this map can kind of be played that way, but it also kind of encourages you to go around each of the sides, try and find, all the stuff, because generally speaking, people spend more time in the corners. I don't know why that is in this map, but it means that you get a little bit more of an interesting experience, and instead of being the big, kind of circle thing where it's all around the center, it's 4 distinct sides where you go to a side, there's probably going to be somewhere there, and you can have an interesting fight that's going to be very different each side. So, for instance, if you go to the front room I was just in, you're probably attacking someone from above or being attacked from above. If you're in the green side, where, where I've just lit up with fires, then you're probably in the situation where you're fighting right in the open, like we're doing right now. Like, as you can see, it's kind of a tense fight. Or if you go to the yellow side where all the cakes are, I'm trapped in the corner, but if you go to the yellow side where all the cakes are, then you're gonna, again, it's gonna be a very different fight. Yeah, I love the fact that each room does have a kind of different experience to it, which is kind of nice. So yeah, 4 sides to the map, they're all linked by like an outside path, but most people go through the center, which means that, again, you can kind of have the type of fight you want, and I like this map a lot for that reason, and there was a little bit of flag right there for some reason, but yeah, basically this map, this game in particular, does go in my favor. The map is very cool in general, and that is why it's my 3rd favorite map in battle. But what is my 2nd favorite? I think this is a lot of people's, personal favorites, and it's perhaps the coolest map design they've ever came up with, because it's from DLC 4, the last DLC, and it is, of course, Shrunk. So Shrunk is perhaps the coolest idea for any build ever, I think. Like, I just love the concept on so many levels, but as you can see, it's set around like a kid's room where the bed is the spawn, and then you gotta, like, kind of go around the thing, and just, any part of this map is just visually amazing, because, everyone knows exactly where they're going. Like, oh, there's a giant slime, and there's a dinosaur, and there's another dinosaur, and a crafting table too they've got. Like, everything about this map is just really, really amazing in that level, but it's also a great, map for different types of fights. It's not the best map for the fighting, which is why it's not my favorite, but, the fact that you can have, like, multi-layer fights where right now, we're down on the floor, but in a second, if I get back up, which I think I'm gonna have to do by going around some places, if you get back up, then you gotta make it all about knocking people off the bed, because if you can do that, they're gonna take a lot of full damage, and there is, kind of a big degree of that, but the only flaws I have with this map that, like, because again, I'm sure I could talk about how amazing this map is, but everyone knows internally, like, yeah, Shrunk is the most interesting, Shrunk is perhaps the best built, and Shrunk is always a visually great map to look at, but the problems I have with Shrunk aren't to do with the design, because it's pretty interesting, but it's actually to do with the actual, the layouts of the map, and the way it kind of plays in the battles, because generally speaking, it's all about, okay, first step, rush to the, chest on the center, or rush to the other chest with red stuff, because, they're both in really easy to get to places. Then after that, it's just all about, well, you're on the ground level, or you're on the top level. It's really hard to get from one to the other. Like, I've had to, I have to go through this, like, weird thing to get up there, and, that's the big problem I have with this particular map, is the fact that it is so annoying to get from layer to layer, and if you play on short length game modes, like I do, because it's the best, it's the best length for every other map I find, it means everyone's trying to be a bit more aggressive. On this map, you go out to one of the edges, and then you get your stuff, and then suddenly there's a minute left to fight, and you can't all get to the center in a minute, and to me at least, it doesn't create quite as interesting games when you play on short, and if you have to play on medium or you play on long, then it just takes more of your time to play this map, and I know, I don't think that's like the perfect solution. I think, I don't know what the, perfect solution would be. Maybe short is like 4 minutes on this map. Again, I can't say for sure, but the same amount of time that other maps can play just fine and play the best on, personally, I don't think they do, and even if you put that aside, you're like, okay, let's ignore the game mode thing, then what you got to consider is the fact that this map is just so incredibly powerful for knocking people off. The center chests are hard to get to, so you can't really, like, have that respawn stuff. It's really all just about, go get the stuff, hope you get something with knockback, and then you can kill people pretty easily, because there's not really much you can do to fight someone who has knockback, like, just happens to be right there, and no, isn't that kind of sad? So, yeah, Shrunk is amazing, but I feel like there's something about the gameplay I just don't like. Maybe it needs more slime blocks, maybe it needs more ways to get back up, like just a couple of giant ladders or something. I don't know for certain, but I do know there's a couple of, flaws of the way the map generally plays, but, that's made up for more than enough by just, again, look around, isn't this cool? Like, look at the room, I think it is, and, yeah, that is Shrunk, the second best battle map. So what is my favourite battle map, you might be wondering? Well, that goes to a map called Frontier. So Frontier is also from the 4th, DLC pack for Minecraft on the console, and the idea of it, the western town, which, you can go explore stuff, is one that's been done to death, I feel like, on the PC. Like, at first, I felt like I'd hate the idea, because it's just like, oh yeah, here's the thing every generic, like, Hunger Games server will do, but yet they managed to still put a unique twist in it, like, there's this giant train along the Mesa Mountains, and yet they still managed to make it a really intriguing map, which plays so interestingly, because whether it's, like, these viewpoints you're seeing up here, where you can, like, see the entire map, but you're on the train, whether it's the fact that, that, both of the, the rare chests are in, like, edges and corners that are somewhat dangerous to get to. I just, love every part. Like, as you can see, there's a red chest right here, but to get to this one, you have to trap yourself in a room where if someone comes in, then they can, do so. Basically, you're kind of trapped in there, and I really like the dynamic of not only, where the red chests are, not only of the kind of height thing of the whole map, but I also just love the fact that the center kind of functions as, like, a permanent jewel point. So you'll notice how, during this gameplay, I kind of avoid it, because I'm just like, I don't really need to jewel right now, but, you'll notice that, if you ever look in the center, there's almost always going to be someone there looking for a fight, or you're going to be able to see someone and try to fight them like that, because the center of this map works as a really, like, strong gravitational pull. I don't know entirely why or how, but yeah, it's a really, really intriguing phenomenon, and it just means that you can always, go to fight someone if you necessarily want to, which you wouldn't figure for a map, that's actually fairly large, because it's got all these buildings, it's got the outside. In theory, it should be an awfully slow map where you can never find anyone because they're in a building, but most of the buildings are just like, get the chest, then go out. Instead, most people are somewhere open where you can see them, and it means, again, you're always doing something, you're never, like, really too lost, and I just love the way the map plays. So, yeah, besides the fact that the map plays amazingly, the builds itself, again, it's a done-to-death theme, I just feel like, in my opinion, but yeah, it's done in a way that I just really, really do love. So this is the small variant, but even on this variant, you can see, like, the church, I really do quite like the way it's built. The fact that, there's jump points from one part of the map to another. There's just so many really amazing bits of this, like, map, that, like, the cactuses over there, for instance. They're just, really small things, but they just really add up. Like, the Wild West theme clearly is one that just really works in Minecraft, and particularly with this battle map, it seems to work pretty well at that. So, yeah, we've got, like, just under a minute left of this round, and as you're going to see, I go to the center because I'm like, I'm going to go duel someone, and what do you know, something like 5-10 seconds later, someone is actually going to show up. At least I think so, and again, it's just a gravitational pull this map seems to have. The center is where everything kind of centers around without feeling like it is forced, and yeah, I don't know if this is, like, really clever map design where they've worked out what people are going to do, or if it's just a coincidence that everyone plays the map in a way that I love, but every time I'm playing Frontier, I'm always having a good game. It's never one, it's not the easiest map. Like, I probably win, like, way less than every other map, but it is one that I have a lot of fun with, at least as if I recall in this video, and that's why it's my favorite map in battle. However, obviously, these videos aren't just about my opinion. I'd love to hear about your top 5 maps in the comments down below. Otherwise, like it if you did like it, because it helps out the channel, and listening, you do like these sorts of videos, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.